When recovering from an injury or medical condition, there is no better place to do so than your own home. Here to tell us what Home Rehab Express can do for you or even a loved one is Joanne Ellis and Dr. Peter Wallemeyer here to talk about, this morning the topic is neuroma. We're going to talk a little bit about pinched nerves. And if we're using your services, Joanne, with Home Rehab Express, a lot of times this is due to an injury. I mentioned that you can help us recover from the best, which is the comfort of our own home. Talk about Home Rehab Express and how you can really help our viewers.
Sure. Home Rehab Express is a home health company. We are Medicare certified, so you're covered, the patient's covered 100% by insurance, which is really very helpful. In Dr. Wallemeyer's case, we do lots of therapy for his patients at home, wound care changes, dressing changes, and things like that.
So what do you want people to know about neuroma and a pinched nerve? What is it exactly?
A neuroma is an enlargement of the nerve as it travels down the bottom of the foot and up to the toes. It's a mechanical problem, so it's caused by shoe gear, abnormal pressures. People who stand or walk for long periods of time can develop these enlargements of the nerves that are very painful. They create burning, tingling, sometimes numbness into the toes and up the bottom of the foot.
You can imagine how that can maybe affect your everyday life if you're someone who maybe stands a lot during work. It's got to be pretty uncomfortable. So what are the signs and symptoms we really need to look out for if it is in fact a pinched nerve or neuroma?
You definitely look for those things I just talked about, and the best treatments are cortisone injections. And if those fail, then there are some other things we can do. We can look at changing shoe gear. We can add some pads to the shoes, and we can potentially surgically excise the neuroma.
Okay. With the cortisone, is that temporary relief, or how long does that usually last?
Usually lasts about 2 to 3 months.
Okay. So how do we know when to kind of get past the cortisone, or maybe if it's something a little bit deeper that we need to be looking at?
When the cortisone stops working, that's when I usually suggest surgical excision.
Okay.
It's a very easy surgery, very quick recovery, and patients do very, very well with it.
And I can imagine, you know, a lot of times when we talk about these different topics, I think it's safe to say, depending on your situation, everybody's body and situation is a little bit different. But when we're dealing with a pinched nerve, what is recovery time like? How long does that typically take?
It's usually just about till the skin heals, and maybe a couple extra weeks to let some swelling go down until you can get back in normal shoes. Usually I tell patients it's about 4 to 6 weeks total recovery.
And what happens if we ignore those signs? Because I know a lot of us don't like to deal with sometimes the truth of the matter and deal with what's really happening. But what happens if we let that go and we don't get that looked at?
The neuroma will get larger. It will actually pop up and down, and it'll feel like you're walking on a stone in your shoe.
Ouch.
And so it'll become so unbearable you won't want to ignore it anymore.
Yeah, we'll certainly take advantage of that. And as we close here, Joanne, Home Rehab Express, obviously, if you're dealing with this is something you guys can really help with, and help with the speed, the time of the recovery as well, right?
Sure, absolutely. After you get to a point where you would need surgery, we would be able to continue therapy and do dressing changes on your surgical incision.
And how can people take advantage of Home Rehab Express or your services, Dr. Wallemeyer? Website a good place to go to?
Yes, absolutely.
Online?
Yeah, www.bonefix.com.
Okay.
And our phone number is 239-936-6778.
So if you have any of that pain or discomfort, certainly give them a call, and you can always, we always like to send you to Home Rehab Express website as well to talk to them about what they can do for you to help in your recovery time as well. And then one more website to go to. We always put everything online and have a wealth of information there. So as always, head to our website, fox4morningblend.com. Attention race fans, we put the pedal to the metal for a Daytona giveaway. How you can win tickets to see your favorite drivers with a front row seat.